It's another exclusive. Go ahead and get seated. You know the name, I ain't gotta repeat it. Keep it bumping like a mosh pit, rocking through the night. If you love it, leave a comment, hit subscribe and like. Always raise the bar, reaching for new heights. Shining like a star, illuminating with the light. I know you see me from afar, I'm burning bright.
Hey, Aria, how you doing?
Pretty good. Hopefully there's no interruptions this time. Like it's been weird. Things have been weird.
I know, right? It has really been weird. The tech has not been our friend. Now yesterday there was a storm and there could be more. So I do know that there was a storm possibly behind that one. I don't know why yours was affected and then boom, mine was gone and it was weird. So
Yeah.
I know. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. Everybody, if you're watching, welcome to the Rainbow Swastika. This is part 3 of a report to the Jewish people about the New Age anti-Semitism. And this is Ariel of Asher's Garden. Go ahead, Ariel.
Asher's Orchard.
Did I say garden?
Yeah, okay. Gardens are good too. I just chose the orchard. I just chose orchard because of the alliteration, because they both start with vowels.
But, there's my Angie girl. Good to see you. Good to have a good one in this chat.
And then on top of that, you also have like A and O, where it's like alpha and omega. I don't know, kind of just.
You do.
But I did
you
garden.
Yeah.
So, I think just a good way of kind of getting back into what we're talking about last night. Maybe start with what we're trying to watch when this all happened, because it really goes into it.
Okay.
I believe there is a God in many forms. I believe there's also a goddess. I do not believe there is a physical being, God. I believe in the energies of God and goddess.
We people say Ram, Krishna, Shiva, Muslims, Allah, Christians, Jesus.
I've had the experience of God, and that universal energy of goodness.
In a sense, everything is God. God is everything.
We believe that there is a God, and we refer to God by the name of Allah.
There is a source
God is
and creators.
And that's what the whole New Age movement is. We can recreate the future by changing our thoughts, changing our beliefs, coming to an agreement, getting rid of divisive doctrines, and agreeing to these things, and then we're all one, and then we're going to all hold hands like the big Rockefeller Christmas tree, and God, quote unquote God, is going to shoot the joy of the force, which is what Barbara Marx Hubbard's interpretation from Christ is. The joy of the force will go through all mankind, and there will be a planetary Pentecost, and all mankind will be born again. I don't think you want to be a part of that. Peace, 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 but there is no peace, said Jeremiah. So what is the Course in Miracles? The Course in Miracles came about when a psychologist in New York City by the name of Helen Schuckman at Columbia Medical College heard an inner voice that said, "This is a Course in Miracles, please take notes." The voice reputed to be Jesus.
So just at that point, also you put us on screen, just because whenever I pause, I feel like, hearing the commentary, it's good to see us. So do you have any thoughts on this? Because stuff like this always stands out to me.
I want to show, like at some point during this, and it doesn't have to be today, but I want to show the videos that me and my friend did on What the Fuck Betty on her and what we revealed on her on our research with her. That's what I have to say about it. I want to show those videos because, yeah, it's interesting.
But yeah, I guess at least what I'm kind of thinking about is why, like, what happens when someone hears something like this? Like, on one hand, there's so much potential that it's due to manipulation, whether it's like essentially smoke and mirrors or, I mean, like, in the past, it's one thing because you don't have, well, at least presumably, you don't have technologies that are able to, like, transmit sound that way. But like, it's a type of thing where, nowadays, like, I mean, of course, there's always the possibility that if you're hearing something, I mean, on one hand, you could argue she was actually channeling something. On the other hand, you could argue, there was something going on in her brain. Or on the other hand, you could argue that, like, she was being manipulated. But the point is that
Right.
it's like nowadays, that's something you really have to think about in a way that, like, in the past, it was mainly about just people, drugging you and convincing you that they were a god or something. Whereas now it's a lot more tricky.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to jump through more hoops. They have to create bigger stage tricks, much larger stage tricks, actually, in order to pull the wool over our eyes. Now let's think about the wool, okay? Let's think about the veil of Isis, right? And esoterically they want to tell you that is that veil that covers the hemispheres and the gap between them, that blood-brain barrier. It has multiple meanings and layers to it. And you are muted. I don't know if you know you're muted, but you're muted. Okay, there you go. Okay. So, when you are when you what I've learned is the more traumatized you are, the more heightened your senses are, and the more prophetic you will seem. Okay?
Interesting.
Yes. So if you take like a major, major, major traumatized person, hi Mina, good to see you. If you take a major traumatized person and you give them some form of psychedelic, okay, they're already heightened. They've gotten that much more heightened. They are elevated. They are enlightened. Um, and then they are going to dictate to you if you're going to go to war, when you're going to harvest, what law you're going to put into place. I mean, this is serious stuff. Okay, I yield. Hey, Only Me, it's good to see you.
Also, no, she was a psychologist or psychiatrist.
Again, Marianne Williamson is the
Therapist.
one that's teaching A Course in Miracles on Oprah XM satellite
I
radio.
don't remember.
Let's see.
The voice that said Chukma at Columbia, when a psychologist in New York City,
Psychologist.
Okay. I'm
again,
so
Marianne
upset.
Williamson is the one that's teaching A Course in Miracles on Oprah XM satellite radio.
Puke. I've been duped. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. Let's look at her eyes. Rewind it just a little bit. Let's look at her. Let's look at her eyes, y'all. Look deep. Y'all see a spark of life? Okay, go.
Well, what I'd say is, like, and again, I feel like this is maybe a bit too much, but the spark of light in her eyes is a reflection, whereas if you look at, like, deep into her eyes, all you see is darkness.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the light reflection. I'm talking about the soul, that soul spark, the spirit reflection. You know? Yeah, and also I want to tell you, I just found out there's one secret society that knows how to dilate their pupils, and that's like I just found out about that. So that goes into like vampiric tradition too.
Wait, so it's a secret society of ophthalmologists, of eye doctors.
Is it that? Well, I mean,
Do you get the joke? Because, like, the eye drop.
Oh, yeah, well, I know the eye drops, but I was like, well, maybe that you could do it at will, because I think I remember reading like years and years and years ago something about you could learn to like open and close, dilate at will, and it's connected to vampirism. Okay. And I think it is connected to the Kubrick stare too, but I'm not sure. Okay, we should go. This is
Interesting.
getting deep. This is going far left or right, some far up. I don't know. Far down.
Um,
1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. And that's just exactly what we're talking about.
I don't like that guy talking at all. I don't like him. Mm-mm.
yeah, I mean,
I think he's controlled opposition. I called him a Mason.
This, Oprah, I apologize. God stops by every once in a while. He's a fan. Can I help you, Lord? I'm kind of in the middle of talking to somebody important.
Oh, I know, Stephen. I'm a huge
a lot
fan.
of this is kind of irrelevant. So.
That's great to hear. I'm a big fan of yours too, God. I really am.
Wow, Oprah knows who I am.
Now, some of the avatars that are popularly promoted is Saint Germain. Saint Germain is the ascended master of Freemasonry.
So he also ties into vampirism, doesn't he?
Yeah, because he's supposed to be the one that like lives for a really long time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might be wrong, but I think that Highlander is based on him, right?
Really? I have no idea. I don't know, but maybe because yeah, they think that these people that okay, apparently there is like this way of meditating, and they don't tell you that they use drugs, but they do. They do. And here I want to tell you a story. Can I tell you a quick story? When I got into the pagan communities in like 1999 and 2000, I was like, hey, y'all smoke weed? And they were like, no, we don't do that. We have elevated. And then when I come to find out that, almost everybody did. And then it's like all of your ancestors did, Jevum. They did. They absolutely did. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's weird because the reason people don't want to admit it is because they think it makes either they think it makes them less legitimate, or like the stuff they're talking about less legitimate, or because they associate it with like, it's like, oh, you have to cause that within yourself. You can't, you're just not spiritually connected enough for that. Whereas like, so as opposed to meditation, someone doesn't get to that point without meditation, or with it, like, it's not like people just start at, this high point.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, and it's almost like if you are not given any type of guidance on how to relax your body into a lower brainwave state so you can meditate and do that, you're going to kind of stay pretty, left brain logic, right? You're just going to kind of stay continuous your whole life, just like no, slave to the grind, right?
yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, it's kind of I think it connects to like heightened states of or like basically being in a constant state of fight or flight. It also leads to high levels of inflammation.
Yeah. You know what causes inflammation too? That's something that nobody will talk about, and that's parasites. Parasites cause a lot of inflammation in the body.
Which is a rite of Freemasonry from the Lodge Ledroit Humaine in Paris, France, of the Grand Orient Freemasonry. Annie Besant and Madame Blavatsky were both Freemasons. They were
like you said, Annie Besant.
And yes, Madame Blavatsky, yes. And
Masonic
my
and
craft mother was,
Madame Blavatsky
or
were both
is,
Freemasons.
she's not active now, but she was a Mason, a Master Mason, a Grand Mason.
And then that's Ledbetter, right?
Yes, that's him. I knew I would know him as soon as I seen his face and that fat fucking beard. Known pedophile of his time. Very,
Yeah,
very, very high ranking Mason.
bad
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
They were a member of the Masonic order. Also, Dewal Kuhl. He is one that is mentioned to these people. Kuni, the Master KM, Sanat Kamara. Manesis is the ascended master that was channeled by Swinburne Clymer, who also was a teacher of the ascended masters. Also, Jesus and Mary. Not the real Jesus or the real Mary, but also Jesus and Mary. They are popular ascended masters. And when people receive information from these fallen angels in the second heaven and from the devils here in the first, this is the term for this is called channeling. And this is literally what we see going on here. And in what we're talking about this evening, we see a systematic attempt to bring mankind under the authority of these ascended masters. And this has been going on since the late 1800s. And Freemasonry is the groundwork for this effort. What we're talking about here is not just what we would commonly call possession with the devil. What we're talking about here is union, where people are duped into being willing participants, where they submit themselves to working in partnership with these fallen angels in the second heaven. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him.
Yeah, this guy kind of reminds me almost like Watchtower Society.
Yeah, he's totally controlled opposition. If you can't tell that this dude's a Mason by the way he talks, I can't help you. You know? I mean, the conviction and absoluteness in the occult in which he talks is enough for me.
So, do you want to see what, like, most people will be like, okay, this is maybe, it's nutty and I can't believe that people believe it, but, like, who, and yesterday we showed the video of Eleanor Roosevelt reading this. Now, you want to take a guess who else is arguably involved? It's the type of thing where, like, people generally, like, unless they're outright New Age, they're not going to admit it because, I mean, it's the type of thing that kind of torpedoes careers if, in certain fields. But, I mean, like, I'm sure, well, you definitely know, and I'm sure your audience and hopefully mine also knows about, what was his face? Michael Aquino?
Michael Aquino.
Yeah.
Right.
So he was like on, the more satanic end, but if you want to know about like someone who's, I'm, 1 second.
He's got to take a hit because he's a prophet of drugs. He's prophet of cannabis. There we go. Prophet of cannabis. Hookah load. Hookah load. What?
Basically, yeah. So, do you know who Michael Flynn is?
Michael Flynn. Yeah. Hey, Yams, good to see you.
So, Michael Flynn, he was involved in the first Trump administration, and wait, why is this not? It should be showing up here. Where did it? 1 moment. Okay, I thought it didn't open it up on the app. I'm opening it here. 1 second. It's not opening it. Open app. Okay, there. That worked. Just need to refresh my history. So this is something that I forget who first noticed this, but
it's still not showing.
Yeah.
Let me remove it. Okay.
What? Oh, that wasn't the issue. I still need to find the video. It's let's see.
Okay.
Search for the fourth Angel Productions.
Well, like this is the whole reason that America was colonized, right?
What do you mean?
Okay. I'm going to need to look for it, but Manly P. Hall talks about the Great American Experiment. Yes. Yes. And you know, Manly P. Hall was Rosicrucian.
General. Oh wait, I guess I could just share. Yeah, I just need to copy this. Okay, perfect. That will work. Paste. This is the one thing that's kind of annoying about having to transfer a video.
Hey, Sean. How doing, sexy kahuna man?
Okay, sweet. I found it. History. Perfect.
We are your instrument of those sevenfold rays and all your
Where's
archangels.
the rays?
All of them.
I am here, O God, and I am the instrument of those sevenfold rays and archangels.
We will not retreat. We will not retreat. We will stand our ground.
And I will not retreat. I will take my stand.
We will not fear to speak. We will be the
That's all
instrument
the
of
money
your
on that
will,
one.
whatever it is.
I will not fear to speak, and I will be the instrument of God's will, whatever it is.
In your name and the name of your legions.
Here I am, so help me God, in the name of Archangel Michael and his legions.
We are freeborn, and we shall remain freeborn.
I am freeborn, and I shall remain freeborn.
And we shall not be enslaved
From within or without.
by any foe.
He's literally
within or without.
And I shall not be enslaved by any foe within or without.
This is making me nauseous. Devin's getting nauseous.
You think he's involved? Think he's involved?
Oh my gosh, the more I learn about the fucking ancient Sibyls, the more I just want to puke all over all these false prophets. It's all false prophets.
Well, see, it's not a false prophet if you plan for the prophecy to come true. Oh my God, But yeah, no, I mean literally this idea we're freeborn and we will remain freeborn. That's literally, and again, I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with certain ideas that are like I don't think that, Luciferianism is bad. I think the problem is that it's used as a mask by people in order to do shitty things. It's just like any ideology.
Well, I really just want to go back to the paganism that I thought it was.
No, I get that.
The neo-paganism where, as long as you wasn't hurting nobody, especially the kids, you was fine and you was left alone. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
I need to go back. We need to go back there. We need to go back there.
So this is about to get into
hostile to God's cosmos.
I'm going to skip this guy.
If they do not, they can spaceship to the Hall of Records, and these are fuck about.
Oh wait, here.
Yeah. One of them that they talk about a lot is the spaceship Earth, and a lot of these guys they talk about going to this mothership, they call it, and a lot of them talk about going to the Hall of Records, and these are false thrones in the second heaven, and people are having real spiritual experiences at these false thrones.
Only Miz, let's talk about it sometime. You come up here, we'll talk about it. I'm all about it. I have a Discord that's anti-cult if you want to join it. Those are beautiful pictures. I love the artwork. The artwork has always got me. Oh my gosh, pause this. All right, we need to pause this. My job has been terminated by order of the president to get federal programs like mine, which is hospice care for the elderly and military veterans. Are you saying that all hospice care is getting cut? Is that what has happened in America? Oh my goodness. Oh, Sean, I'm sick. I'm sick right now. Okay. Hawaii is. Hawaii. Oh, you know what's going down? You know what's going down? The elderly. Do you know what happens? if people aren't set up properly and their estates aren't set up properly, you have to go through probate court, right? You know what happens through probate? You get fucking graped and figged out the wazoo. Um, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Oh, God. Hmm. Land grabs, property acquisition.
Oh, I didn't realize I was muted. But yeah, that's horrifying.
Yes, it is. Okay, go ahead, Sean. I'm
So
so
yeah,
sorry.
so this isn't like I don't know enough about like archetypal psychology, but just something to point out here. Puer aeternus, the idea of the not eternal youth, but like the basically it's like Peter Pan syndrome where you never grow up. And
Oh my God, that's Gen Z.
and yeah, it is. And but then also notice that do you know who talked about the Puer aeternus a lot?
Mm-mm.
It
No.
all comes full circle.
I know that Anima and Animus was young.
So pretty
Annie?
sure.
There she is.
Yeah. The context that I ended up actually hearing this in was James Hillman.
James Hillman. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just
All
kind
right, Sean. Tell him I said hey.
of take care, Sean. So okay, here.
You can drop their link if you want. We got anybody in the chat that likes to hang out with really nice, cool
individuals in
weed smokers.
Look at this. No one will enter the New World Order unless he or she will make a pledge to worship Lucifer. No one will enter the New Age unless he will take a Luciferian initiation. David Spangler, Director of Planetary Initiative, United Nations. What the hell?
Okay, we need to. I have somebody that we need to let know this. If we're mutual friends, Ariel. Okay.
What?
About the UN.
Oh yeah. Honestly, the UN's just caused as much trouble as it's supposedly been able to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Into union with the throne of Lucifer, all the while making them think that
Notice
they're
that
having an
the throne of
experience with God.
Lucifer, like the. I mean, maybe that's just like, okay, that could be a common trope.
Yeah.
And that's just exactly what we're going to see in the teaching of the ascended masters, that Lucifer is
Mabel
God,
Collins.
and he rules from his throne in the celestial world. And this is what these people are doing. They're wanting to bring people into union and trick them into submitting into union with these powers of darkness. Now, this is what is called in the teaching of the ascended masters, the Hierophant of the mysteries, who is Lucifer himself.
Okay, Sean.
And when these people do initiations, the Luciferian initiation, they believe, and I have no doubt, that the spirit of Lucifer is there present with them. Now, this is what Mr. Leadbeater says on page 164, and this is just horrifically chilling. But he says the actual conferring of the degree is a very splendid experience when seen with the inner sight. For the Hierophant of the mysteries, the HOATF, stands above or beside the physical initiator in that extension of his consciousness, which is called the angel of the presence. Now, this Hierophant of the mysteries, the angel of the presence. This is Lucifer, and Lucifer stands beside them as they do.
Pause this for a minute.
What is very honestly called the Luciferian initiation.
You know, the Hierophant is the one that is giving the drugs, right? And through the initiations, the ancient Greek initiations, I sent you that video, and it talks about like the Hierophant's like the highest one, and you will know him like right around dawn. He'll open the door, and there would be like this huge light. That's the dawn bringer. That's what they're talking about, is in this one chamber where the Hierophant emerged to give out that one particular whatever they were dishing out. When he emerged with those huge doors, that's why the doors are so huge. to project so much light, not because we had huge ass friggin' giants, but to project all that light. There's your dawn bringer.
So
Occult mystery solved.
that's
Hi, Angie. Good to have you back.
so this is really interesting because you brought that up. I never thought of it that way. I thought of it the other way, where light is associated with herbs, but I didn't think of herbs associated with light. Lucifer is the one who bears or carries the light. But the thing is, if you go back to the Semitic, which some people just don't want to do, you know what you'll notice? Orot, the word for light, is also the word for herb. Herbs and lights. And so,
and
yeah.
you know, if that's what gives us our sun energy, is the light that when we pick fruit, when we pick plants and we eat it right then, when we used to be able to do that before the world was fucking poisoned, we were, what is that, not, is it the, it is the light essence, and how it is processed. It's not chlorophyll. There's a different word, and how the light is processed through the plant. We ingest it. It becomes our light and our energy. So it was very, very sacred to the ancients. Of course, I think it would be, because everything was sacred to them. So you are giving thanks and praise to the energy and the essence in which you're taking back within you through the plants. I'm telling you, we are in devolution right now. Our ancestors were so much smarter than we have a clue about. Like, somebody probably does, but I have no idea. But I have a feeling they were very, very, very much intelligent.
Yeah, like
much more than now.
I think, like, for instance, the whole Tartarian conspiracy theory. I honestly think that the real conspiracy there is in order to convince humanity that we weren't capable of this in the past, therefore that we're relying on technology and we're essentially nothing without it. And, like, what is more of a matrix than that?
Exactly.
It's like,
That is the tech. That's the old tech. So we need to find that one video that I sent you, and so people can understand this dawn bringer. I'm like, I get it. I've been up all night doing my own thing till the sun comes up and beyond. So dawn bringer, the rising sun, and equating it with drugs was really easy for me,
Yep, same.
So, yeah, it's just what we do, right? We see the light in the darkness. At nighttime, we ingest and we become enlightened. Makes sense.
Yep.
And this is a direct counterfeit of Yeshua, who is the true angel of the present.
Okay, yeah, more of his Christian theocracy or theology.
Yeah, he goes on, I don't like him.
Me neither. No. He's the reason I don't recommend this video more, is because I don't feel comfortable sending this to someone without, like, contextual, basically being beside them and explaining, like, okay, this part's true, this part's, this is his bias, this is his beliefs.
Yeah, because it's like friggin' tug of war, right?
And
it's tug of war. It's like, if you tell too much to one side, they're going to go run into the other side and, like, I'm scared, and, like, no, I need liberation. No, I'm scared. It's just, it's a very age-old game of chess. And we are the pawns.
And personality of the angel's mind will constantly impress themselves upon the mental body of the novice. In other words, once this attachment is made from the fallen angel to the spirit of the individual, this is going to begin to impress and control the mind of the individual. This is direct fallen angel mind control.
It's not fallen angel, it's tech. Modern tech.
Another one of the...
I mean, it's not just that, it's also egregores.
I mean, we got egregores, absolutely. But, it's not, what I'm saying is this comes from us. All of this here, the energy and power behind all this, the function and the the finance behind all that, yeah, is us. Medici's go back to the Bronze Age, okay?
Really?
Yes.
You'll have to tell me more about that,
Okay.
Another time. But something I do think is important to mention because, and this kind of goes to the whole idea of what I was talking about before, like this attempt to disconnect us from our past, is that by like for what when you hear tech, what do you think? What is that short for?
Technology.
But it's also
Technocrat.
but it's also short for technique.
Mhm.
And so I mean, like, I personally, I think a lot of this isn't necessarily technology as much as it is technique, but that they're like, not to say that it isn't like intentional and that there isn't like human minds behind these ideas and how they manifest in the world, but like I mean, I'm talking about because like a lot of this stuff, if you go back into the past before some of the technology we have now existed, you still have certain of these ideas. I mean, like, it's like, for instance, the idea of possession, like something like in the cases where it's not, someone like with a, mental or neurological condition where it's like completely unexplainable. I mean, I don't think it's that common, relatively speaking, but like, and I think that there's people who have an interest in trying to make it seem like, people are possessed because, it's good for their business. I think that, there's some stuff that we can't explain. I think like you're saying, it's not fallen angels. It's just, in the same way that you have benevolent spirits, you also have malevolent ones. And
Right. Well, if you really need to look at the timelines, right? Like that would be a great endeavor and a huge fucking project that if you laid out the timelines of religions and wars, okay, religions and wars, and then like after Jesus's time, migration patterns, and then you look at advancement in tech, advancement in society. And then you want to look at what was going on, like where did Blavatsky get her stuff from? Where did Crowley go? Let's go to the OTO. Let's go back further. Let's go to John Dee. I mean, you got to really put the puzzle pieces together, and it is a huge, massive, massive timeline. There's no way, and it was designed this way, right? I've heard they plan in 200 years, 50 years, and 20 years increments, okay? So if you're looking back, like if you're looking, let's just look at the tech that come out since World War II, okay? And okay, this was published in the 20s, early 20s. So I know I have a video showing where there's patents that's been out since the 50s that can everybody please don't freak out. But you may not even freak out. But the patents have allowed TVs and shortwave radios to affect our frequencies of homeostasis since the 50s. And I have published one video that goes through a bunch of these. And where we're at now is scary compared to where we were in the 50s, having the patents that could cause us to crave something or cause us to feel something or cause us to get angry. Okay. That's the type of level of frequencies we're talking about because we are electromagnetic beings made up of mostly water.
Yeah, definitely. And another one where it's like more, there's parts of this I feel would probably be a bit more relevant for this. But like for now, I mean, great commentary. Sorry, I just.
It's okay. You hit the hookah. I haven't. It's okay.
Valid. I'm about to hit it again.
proponents of the doctrine of the ascended masters was Allison Foster Bailey, and they wrote a book called The Externalization of the Hierarchy, and they wrote it back in the 40s. And in this book, and the hierarchy, this is
Allison Foster Bailey?
externalization of the hierarchy, and they wrote it back was
Mhm.
Allison Foster Bailey, and they wrote a book called The
Mhm.
Externalization of the Hierarchy, and they wrote
Alice
it back in the
Bailey.
40s. And in this book, and the hierarchy,
Also, I mean, I think this was after. Still, it's just okay. No. Alice is short for
Alice
Alice.
Bailey. Annie Besant. All them people.
Wait, Alice Bailey, Annie Besant, A.B.
Mm-hmm. Crowley.
A.C.
this is the ascended masters, and the externalization of the hierarchy is the ascended masters taking over the world, and the whole world submitting to the ascended masters. This is
The
what we need to
only
realize.
way-
We need to be able to recognize
The only way that woman would have enough time to write that much literature is if that is literally all she had to do. I'm going to assume they had a lot of money and that's all she had to do.
Yeah, it reminds me of the other person that I don't want to say right now, but who he does a lot of work, and it's impressive. But I've talked to people, and they say that it's not that deep; it's just very wide.
I don't know, guys. If you're watching from Ariel's links, we're not deleting comments. We're not looking at chat right now. We're trying to get through this because it's really heavy. We're not even through the introduction of the Rainbow Swastika.
Yeah. So we're going to watch a bit more of this video and get into it.
Okay.
this ascended master doctrine when it is being pushed through Freemasonry and these initiatory groups through these channels. Now, this is what she said. The three main channels through which the preparation of the New Age is going on might be regarded as the church, the Masonic fraternity, and the educational field. The church is goal number one, to bring this ascended master doctrine and practices into people that are professing to be believers in Yeshua.
Joel Osteen, Paul White, I forget the other guy's name, but oh wow, hold on. Let me see if I can. Oh wait, I need to find this because this is actually real. Let's see. Jesus took on our sins. Hillsong? No, was it Hillsong? No. Pastor. Oh my God, I do not remember the. If I saw the guy, I would know. Oh dang it! Of course, the one time this is ever relevant, I don't remember. Let's see.
You can make a note for next time.
True, but it's just it's especially relevant.
I'm gonna see. See, we can see your comments.
Let's see, Jesus.
Yeah, we can see your comments.
Took on every sin. Oh wait, is it this guy? No, it's not. He had wild hair. You know what? I'll look it up later, but I just remember he has. Wait, what was the? Dang it! What was the church? I think it might have been Hillsong.
My girl Dane is live.
Hillsong Church.
Guys, you need to go follow Rotting Jewels if you want to learn about Scientology and the Process Church of the Final Judgment and where all it leads to. She does amazing work. Rotting Jewels. The planes that haze up the skies and block the sun has been really.
Let's see.
Sure. Yes. Hey, Yams. I looked at the sun and the sun listened to me and I said, look, we need the sun today. We really, really, really need the sun today. So can we please have some sunshine? And we had sunshine all day yesterday. So go talk to the sun.
Yeah, I wasn't able to find the video, but I'll find it for next time.
Okay. All right.
She goes on to say, the Masonic movement, when it can be divorced from politics and social ends and from its present paralyzing condition of inertia, will meet the end of those who can and should wield power. It is the custodian of the law. It is the home of the mysteries and the seat of initiation. It is a far more occult organization than can be realized and is intended to be the training school for the coming advanced occultists. That's what Freemasonry is. It is a training school for the advanced occultists, and this information is encoded in Masonic ritual. It is the Luciferian doctrine of the Ascended Masters. It is fallen angel doctrine and theology. Every lodge that opens, every Masonic lodge that opens in the Blue Lodge, all of these little lodges you see all over the country, they open in prayer to the Gayatu, and they close in prayer to the Gayatu. There's a false invocation at the beginning and at the end of every lodge meeting. This is idolatry. It's idolatry to call upon other gods and to take the names of other gods upon your lips in invocation and worship. And it's a stark reality that the American evangelical church is no longer offended by idolatry. The idolatry of Freemasonry, of the pagan holidays, doesn't bother them. They're not bothered by it. And that should tell you all you really need to know if you just think about that for a moment. But the role of false invocations in the Ascended Masters is huge. And this is a big part of what they want you to do. Now, Leadbeater says on page 166, he talks about the invocations. He says, clearly our task is of the same nature as the one with which we are all of us already theoretically familiar. All who have worked in the liberal or in either degrees of co-masonry know that the chief object of those great organizations is to draw down spiritual influence from on high and to radiate it out on the surrounding world in a form in which that world can readily assimilate it.
In the last third of the 19th century, esoteric traditions from both the East and the West were gaining greater popularity due to the efforts of a small group of individuals. Calling themselves theosophists, they claimed no personal credit for the teachings they shared, but insisted instead that they came from a group of highly evolved souls attempting to help those in search of the spiritual. These larger-than-life beings were known as the Mahatmas.
And Blavatsky was exposed for being a fraud. She was writing the letters to herself.
Well, another word for the New Age movement is the consciousness revolution. And they're telling us that everything is in states of consciousness. What we need to do is to achieve a higher state of consciousness. The only difference between Jesus and us is that he had attained a higher state of consciousness called Christ consciousness, cosmic consciousness. When we attain this state, God consciousness, we become Christ just like he is. Last days would be characterized by the greatest deception the world has ever seen, a religious deception involving false prophets, false messiahs, and false miracles. But Revelation 13 makes some incredible statements. It tells us that everybody is going to worship the Antichrist. You see, when you talk about the Antichrist taking over the world in the last days, most people are interested in the latest plot of international bankers to create new money, or the Trilateral Commission of the Council of Foreign Relations, or political maneuvers, or military maneuvers by the Soviets, and so forth. But the takeover by the Antichrist is primarily a religious, a spiritual event. No, they're going to worship a man as God. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4 tells us about that man. He's going to sit in the temple of God and declare that he's God. Now, the primary application of that would be the temple that would be rebuilt in Jerusalem, and the Antichrist sitting there. But you have a secondary application. It's telling us the religion of the Antichrist is clearly, as you asked for. Our bodies are supposed to be the temple of the Holy Spirit. What? No, you're not. Your body's the temple of the Holy Spirit, but you have a God. You're not your own. For the first time in the history of humanity, across the Western world, millions of people, through yoga, transcendental meditation, are looking within what ought to be the temple of the Holy Spirit to discover the true self, and having found the true self, declaring that self is God. Okay? This man is not saying that he's God in the classical biblical sense. It says he exalts himself above all that is called God or all that is worshipped. He's an atheist. So that he is God, sits in the temple of God, showing himself, it says, self-realization, discovering to himself that he is God. Now, there's a transformation coming. I believe that's going to cause the world to accept this, because he will be the first one to demonstrate that this goal of God is attainable. He's going to have the psychic powers, and the world is going to want to follow him. Now, it also says in Revelation 13, the whole world will worship the dragon. An entire world involved in Satan worship. But of course, they won't call him Satan. Most of them, few Satanists will, but most of them will call him.
The whole world will worship the dragon.
Oh my gosh. All this is like worshiping people that went before you, that you like their philosophy, but they probably, I mean, they did. We all do this. We all borrow from each other. That's just what we do as humans.
I also did just think, imagine if you look at, Isaiah 14:12 in the context that you brought it up, the idea of light as referencing drugs, then how art thou fallen from heaven? Okay, now, especially if you look in Zoroastrian context, the idea of heaven and hell, there's scholars who think that it was essentially someone had a trip and their experience was like how they portrayed heaven and hell, because, the heights of ecstasy and the depths of, anguish. And that's something you get from a lot of psychedelics.
Yes, 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 yes. Let me tell you. It's like they're like, oh, there's no such thing as a bad trip because all trips are trips that it will lead you to discovering yourself and knowing more about yourself. Yes, but
And wait, but also, just before I forget this, that's also a way of inducing trauma, because you're telling people there's no chance that you'll have a bad trip, that you'll learn from. And the thing is that you will learn from it, but like people learn from the Holocaust. Does that mean that they wanted to go through it? Fuck no.
I've got to rethink the whole tarot now. Let's think about this. If we gave the fool some really good mushrooms, okay, now think about the fool in the tarot. He is like high on life, or he is a high on life character, so it makes complete sense. I can go all through the tarot deck now. There you go, there's your pearls of wisdom, everybody.
Yeah, my favorite.
Go back to the tarot and look at the fool and proceed as if he was tripping balls. There you go.
Well, I only have 2 tarot decks, but the one that I really like, it's based off of the work of Ephraim Moses Lillian. But the Fool in that card, it's based off of one of his paintings of Abraham. Because the idea is, he started on this journey, and it doesn't go so much into the whole idea of the psychedelics, but yeah. So, O Lucifer, O light bearer, son of the morning, how you are cut to the ground. I mean, and imagine, like, again, I think this is definitely a reinterpretation, but like, essentially, the idea of this person was bearing the light, and so they were cut to the ground because they were trying to spread the light. Which did this is a weird phrasing because it's in English, but which did waken? I think it's saying you weaken the. I don't know. I'd have to see the Hebrew, but I don't want to pull it up right now. I'm just for you said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. So also notice this idea of being above the stars, when I think like I might be misinterpreting this, but the idea of like, drawing down the stars, whereas you're trying to go up to the stars, you're trying to, what's the word? To usurp them rather than bringing them down and drawing down their power. And then I will sit upon the mount. In the sides of the north. I mean, like, I think that it's a bit of a stretch to interpret that, like, but we know someone who would try to be like, yeah, this is what it actually means. No,
right. Well, to me, when it says drawing down the stars, I was, in Golden Dawn for 7 years, so I was pulling those, in the LBRP, as a visualization, you pull down that star, right? The brightest star. You meditate and you go, you elevate your being and your consciousness into the heavens in search of that brightest star, and then once you get it and you grab it and you just pull it on down, and then you're doing your Ata and Malkuth,
This past week, I happened to be listening to the radio, local religious radio station right here in Knoxville, Tennessee, when I could not believe what I was listening to. The song came on, and here are the words. Partial, not all of them, but here are the words. Here comes a Baptist, here comes a Jew, there goes a Mormon and a Muslim too. I see a Buddhist and a Hindu, I see a Catholic, and I see you. We're all God's children. We're all God's children. Why can't we be one big happy family? You like the day and I like the night. He's into country and he isn't. There's folks on the left and on the far right, but that doesn't mean that we have to fight. We're all God's children. All God's children. Yea, we're all God's children. Why can't we be one big happy family? If they subscribe to this, if this is what they believe, friend, they're fake.
Their church is fake, and they're fake Christians. Now you say, well, that's mean, preacher. No, I'm trying to tell you the truth. Then there's the message. This message is a bunch of mumbo jumbo. It's all about pride and narcissism. It's about self.
You don't think you haven't heard that?
Week after week, and you never
I
come
know,
to
right?
sins in your life.
I know,
You
right?
never go
Organized religion needs to shut the
to begin
fuck
to
up.
realize that you need help. You need the blood of Christ. You need fellowship with God. And the only way to have
I'm
that
good.
is
I don't drink blood. I'm kosher. Actually, no, I'm not kosher, but I'll be kosher for that.
Self-loving, self-church. Everybody in this auditorium.
Yeah, okay. It is just. Anyway.
Thank you. I'm like, I'm a fruitarian now. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Wait,
so that's the pot calling the kettle black. Okay.
All right. Let's see. So I'm trying to think. Where did we leave off? Let's see. Let's see there. Okay. We did read that. Read that. Different branches, same roots. Logic not required. Okay. We read that. Deliberate riddles. Public pronouncements and teachings of New Age leaders, although usually in English, can seem like a foreign language. Notice this. This is called loaded language. This is something
double speak. Are we talking about double speak again?
Yeah. Loaded language, double speak. Personally, I like loaded language because of the fact that it's, the alliteration. But double speak is also good because, and then also, wait, is double speak what they had in 1984, or what was the?
Double speak is in our law books, or is how they deal with the wording and the meanings of words within the court system and the law system. It also is in the occult too.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Newspeak. Newspeak is what it is in 1984. Newspeak, which is a controlled in dystopian novel 1984, also published by George Orwell. Newspeak is the fictional language of Oceania, a totalitarian superstate to meet the ideally. Let's see. Newspeak, which is a controlled language of simplified grammar and limited vocabulary designed to limit a person's ability for critical thinking. The Newspeak language thus limits the person's ability to articulate and communicate abstract concepts such as personal identity, self-expression, and free will, which are thought crimes, acts of personal independence that contradict the ideological orthodoxy of collectivism. So notice this idea of individualism against the collective, that's a notion that's huge in theosophical circles.
I know, but here's the thing is, like, where's the freaking balance? Okay, I'm screaming balance, been screaming balance for about 10 years. We need to keep our individuality while also being able to feel like we are part of a group. Now, there is a lot of thoughts on just the need of being tribal. Okay, so there are some people, I have to really figure out where I heard this, but there are some people that think that maybe just the need of tribalism was bred into us. And, kind of like we have a endocannabinoid system, which I believe was bred into us through all of the cannabis use throughout history, but that's just my hypothesis.
So, I mean, the New Age, I don't think they can give you balance, but they might give you a ball of ants. I don't know. How's that sound?
There needs to be something to happen, because if we keep going along the lines of where they're going and where they think we're going, it is there's a root race coming from the degradation of all the other races, and then we start to spin into this great year of Kali. It's nihilism.
So let's see. Wait, where are we? Sorry, I get thrown off. Let's see. Oh yeah, recognizable terms are used in unintelligible contexts or given contradictory associations. These are known in esoteric societies as blinds or code words. Riddles deliberately coded to convey still classified information over the heads of the uninitiated or hostile observers. That's something I've seen huge, both in Hillman's cult and in the other one that I've been following.
Mm.
The blinds used in the New Age are many and match those used in the occult, per Helena Blavatsky, The Secret Doctrine, page 435. Thus, we on the outside can only know as much as New Age spokesmen see fit to tell us. As in all occult groups, some information is presumably shared only with top-level initiates. However, the riddles are being publicly unlocked with increasing frequency on a voluntary basis, showing that New Age sees its power base as sufficient to withstand any hostility to its agenda. In other cases, there are leaks by high-level leaders who have jumped ship, showing that even hardcore New Age loyalists are prone to disillusionment after years of self-made reality.
Mm-hmm.
Exploiting naive idealists. From my personal experience, I find there is a surprising number of people plotting the New World Order, the Age of Aquarius, the New Humanity, or the Ancient Wisdom, who are woefully uninformed as to where all this came from and where it is leading. This is often because they have chosen to back one attractive New Age issue without checking the foundations of the movement, or because they haven't checked a range of New Age sources. Most of these supporters are in the lower ranks, many of them working hard for their causes in the conviction that the New Age will really make the world a better place for everyone, Jews included. It is in the interest of the upper leadership to promote this illusion, and more like a delusion, and keep working level New Agers from catching on to the real agenda, since many would refuse to cooperate if they knew. Even so, there is already enough to talk about global purges destined to wipe out 80% or more of the world's population, to make it clear that not only the Jews, but many dedicated world servers will be judged unfit for the New Age once the elite power structure is in its place. It takes time for these dedicated light workers to digest the fact that they are being used and lied to, and sometimes there is a period of denial, but they deserve to know the truth. I therefore recommend passing this information not only to opponents of the New Age, but also to its supporters, and doubly so if they're Jews, and doubly so if they're Jews or married to Jews. The series begins immediately below with links to all the segments at the end. Feedback, of course, is welcome and even expected. Whether your response is appreciation, doubt, or outrage, my only request is that you read everything before responding. So, where is this about global purchase? Where's this in? This is in, let's see, Human History according to New Age. So, we're going to start with how big a conspiracy.
Hold on a minute. Are you guys over there on Ariel's? Are you talking about like one of the Sibyls? Because you keep saying Cassiopeia 7. Is that like the 7th Sibyl?
It might be something in space. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Well, that would be interesting too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All societies believe nonsense. As in cell replication, any given society sooner or later hits on a chunk of lethal nonsense and collapses. In a world of many independent societies, this does not matter much. But once communication technology has formed a single global society, the time must come when everyone believes the same lethal nonsense simultaneously. Civilization then collapses globally, leaving no seed from which it could rise again. David Jones, quoted by Richard Cruz, CPU Review, April 1993.
Okay, you know what I would do if I was doing this? Like, if I was reading this on my own, and what we should probably go back and do, which would be really, really interesting and revealing. Go back up.
Yeah.
Scroll back up.
Yeah, one moment here.
Okay, the David Jones. Imagine what you could find out if you got a FOA on him, and Richard Cruz if you got a FOA on him. If they're still alive. If they're dead, it'd probably be easier to get it once they're dead. You do have to like know how to do a FOA, but it is possible. Or just to do a soft search through Google just to find out. And you always want to follow the money when you are looking at who is behind what and what's going on. Even Hannah Newman, the one that wrote this, I like to know who has influenced the people that I'm reading.
Well, I mean, we could always reach out to her sometime. I think we should after we get through this all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like to talk to her.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Wait, where were we? Oh, yeah. Wait, history? No, that's not right. Wait, did I go? Wait, where are we?
I will be right back.
Okay, no worries. Should I continue without you, or you want me to wait? I guess I'll just wait. Let me see if I can find anything in the meantime. Let's see. New Age anti-Semitism. What shows off? If I search for that. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, you're back?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So that's weird. Okay. A. How big a conspiracy? No, it's. Am I clicking on the? Is this going to take me to first? Okay, let's see. This is kind of weird. It's not taking me to. Oh, here. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I was reading from B, so this is the right one. It reports on Jewish people about New Age anti-Semitism. A leaderless but powerful network is working to bring about radical change in the United States. Its members have broken with certain key elements of Western thought, and they may have broken continuity with history. Broader than reform, deeper than revolution, this benign conspiracy for a new human agenda has triggered the most rapid cultural realignment in history. This great shattering, irrevocable shift overtaking us is not a political, religious, philosophical system. It is a new mind, the ascendance of a startling worldview. New Age leader Marilyn Ferguson, The Aquarian Conspiracy, page 23. Part A, How Big a Conspiracy? The Aquarian Conspiracy by Marilyn Ferguson, published in 1980, was the first major book by New Age leadership claiming to catalog the extent of their movement. Ferguson had proclaimed then, they have coalesced into small groups in every town and institution. They have formed what one called national non-organization. Some conspirators are keenly aware of the national, even international scope of the movement and are active in linking others. Linking others. There are legions of conspirators in corporations, universities, hospitals, on the faculties of public schools, in factories, in doctors' offices, in states and federal agencies, on city councils and the White House staff, in state legislatures and volunteer organizations in virtually all arenas of policy making in the country, U.S., including at the cabinet level of the United States government, from the Aquarian Conspiracy. Wasn't she exaggerating? Considering the statement, yeah?
I don't think she's exaggerating at all. I've felt it. I've seen it. She's not exaggerating. Lauren Murray talks about with Professor Hamamoto, guys, go follow Professor Hamamoto. That is a doctor to, oh my gosh, he's amazing. Chinaman's gonna save the world, maybe. I don't know, but on his channel, Lauren Murray talks about how they were pushing this agenda. It started in the colleges. She said it started in the colleges. I don't know, but she said that's where it's where you start. Is you get your college professors in there, right? You are affecting the minds of the college students, and then it trickles down to preschool. So
Let's see where we're What wasn't she exaggerating? Considering the statements of other like-minded spokespeople with which we will examine in the series, and the tremendous changes our society has experienced since this New Age manifesto was published, it's more accurate to say that Ferguson broke it to us gently. We are indeed confronting a new mind being orchestrated on a global scale, only it is not new, nor is its conspiracy benign from a Jewish point of view, as we will see. Contrary to past esoteric groups, which were shrouded in secrecy, the New Age is quite obliging in identifying the members of their benign conspiracy, whom the leading spokesmen claim are all supporters of the plan for a new world order. The extent to which New Age thought has become acceptable is evidenced by the fact that the writings of Alice A. Bailey, the main architect of the plan, and Helena P. Blavatsky, the grandmother of the New Age, can now be accessed online, complete with outrageous passages about the Jews and Judaism. Her quotes from these two are drawn from these online versions. New Age directories have been on sale since the early 1970s and mushroomed in 1975 when the movement received transmissions from the Ascended Masters, their spirit guides, to go public. One such directory, the International New Consciousness Directory, New Age Media, 1979, contained 10,000 groups, excluding branches in North America alone. One can only guess at the number after 20 plus years, so I cannot list more than a representative sample. Many of the entries are from the research of the U.S. Attorney Constance Cumby and are listed in her work, The Hidden Dangers of the Rainbow. Interesting. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, and it's like God gave us the rainbow to never flood. It was like a promise to never flood, right? In the Bible, is what it says. I'll give you the rainbow. Okay, but if the sun existed and water existed in the atmosphere, we had the rainbow before the flood too, because it rained like a motherfucker, right?
Let's see. The Hidden Dangers of the Rainbow is by
Yum, if she's hiding, I send her love and strength.
Let's see. One, there are umbrella groups actively networking other smaller organizations until plan. Here is a partial list of the older, more established groups. The International Cooperation Council, since changed to Unity and Diversity. It's kind of interesting though, because it has like a similar acronym to the IC. Well, it's the same acronym as the International Criminal Court, the ICC, but since changed to Unity and Diversity, a network of 300 plus organizations. Lucius Trust. Wait, okay, are these all links? What happens when I click here?
I don't know, but you were on the website earlier.
Oh, it takes me to the Lucius Trust website. Arcane School, Alice Bailey Books, Meditation as a World Service, The Electric Bridge, The Great Invocation. Yeah, this is exactly what though. See, at certain points they change it in order to kind of be able to maintain their cover, but.
Yeah, everything's trust. It's all trust, and trust law.
So Lucius
if
Trust.
You want to learn some law, learn trust law, people. Because our country is corporate, is just trust corporation, is trust. That's all it is.
So Lucius Trust, publisher of Alice Bailey's books, once called Lucifer Publishing, also the parent organization of World Goodwill. Wait, is that like Goodwill?
Probably, because they've been dirty forever and never, 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 never.
I don't think that. I think this is separate, but yeah, this is separate. I mean, you never know. It might be connected, but I don't think it's connected. Stanford Research Institute, educational material including a New Age manifesto, the Lorien Association, headed by David Spangler, Share International, headed by Benjamin Crane, Amnesty International, World Federalists, World Politics, the Networking Institute, prominent in the Far East, the New Group of World Servers, Social Action, founded by Bailey, Whole Earth Catalogs, Environment and Nutrition, with esoteric religion thrown in, the First Earth Battalion, U.S. Military, Planetary Citizens, Global Politics, the Rainbow Coalition, Interracial Unity, the Temple of Understanding, Interfaith Dialogue closely connected with the UN, New York's Cathedral of St. John the Divine, home to the previous group and others, the Pacific Institute, Courses for Management. Most of the network umbrella groups have some connection with the Planetary Initiative for the World We Choose, run by a World Council of Wise Persons and or a coordinating council, not known if they're the same. This group publicizes dates of its meetings at the UN and is not shy about publicizing names of past and present wise persons. Buckminster Fuller, Norman Cousins, Dr. Carlos Romulo, Brooke Newell, once VP of Chase Manhattan Bank, Gerhard Elston, ex-director of Amnesty International, Helen Kramer, International Association of Machinists, Robert Mueller, Chancellor, UN University for Peace, Donald Keyes of Planetary Citizens. Philosophical and or religious societies. They define themselves as a philosophical or educational organization, I'm guessing, to avoid legal complications with U.S. constitutional law, but they're religious in nature, which were founded by New Age figures in obedience to spirit guides, and which teach occult enlightenment through spirit guides. Arcane School, Seven Rays Institute, Anthroposophy, Waldorf Schools, Theosophical Society, Transcendental Law, Meditation, A Course in Miracles, Interfaith Study Group, New Thought Courses, Silva Mind Control, New Acropolis, Scientology, to name a few. Ironically, many of these groups, even those with decidedly racist teachings, have found a ready following in Israel, of all places. See relevant entries in the missionizing section. So this actually reminds me of something that it always kind of gave me chills when I saw this, like in a weird way. Let's see. Do you know what fire fairies are?
No, but I have my videos of Alice Bay, or what's her name, pulled up for when you get done. I want to show those. They're not long.
Let's see.
Who makes millions on poisoning people by simply promoting their poisonous products on $1 million commercial on holidays and Super Bowls? We got rituals, right? High ritual days. Sean, high ritual days. All you got to do is look up this date in history and the holidays and see what they're doing.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Fire fairy.
Mm-hmm. There is a wealth that we have that we're not supposed to know about, that if it's true and if it turns out to be true and the world were to know about it, it would be really ugly.
So you were talking about how it goes to the preschools, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is it? I'm not sure. Is it this one?
Hello, friends. For the little ones, but at home for family are now. And we praise our loving mother. Mates sing it. On the golden corn and the up. Now.
What's that?
For the golden.
No, it's not this, but I think. Let's see. Videos.
How about you look for it and I play my Alice Bailey videos?
Sure. Here. Yeah. Put yours up.
Okay. Hang on, people. We're going for a little ride. I gotta find the right one. Now, this was a couple of years ago I did with my friend. Can you see it?
Not yet.
Oh, I gotta put it up there. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. All right, here we go. Now you can see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys.
Wow, I read that.
So you go ahead and read it again for me.
Barbara Marx Hubbard, godmother of transhumanism and synthetic spirituality. The late Barbara Hubbard, a Rockefeller-funded New Age guru, was critical to the development of the ideals, beliefs, and technology necessary to the market of transhumanism, I know the word, as a spiritual enlightenment.
Can we just look at this woman's eyes? Can we just look at this woman's eyes for a minute, y'all? That's all I'm gonna say. So I don't know who this man is, but I think maybe he deserves a Google search or two.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2016, the Global Future Councils of the World Economic Forum posted a video entitled 8 Predictions for the World in 2030, which infamously forecasted the technocratic New World Order in which you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. It doesn't take a stretch of imagination to ponder the WEF oligarchs' plan to roll out sustainable development policies which will ration consumer goods in a global sharing economy that employs transient gig workers. Can I click on that? I think. Who will be rendered into property-less serfs under a techno-communitarian rendition of neo feudalism, but I'm trying to digest this film.
Yeah, I am too. And it's not the first time that I've heard about this plan.
Right. But how will the globalist technocrats of the WEF sway the virtual peasant class to be happy with their permanent state of digitally indentured? So you see, I've been talking about this for over 2 years. Servitude. That says servitude.
Yes, it does. Indentured servitude.
What is the gig economy and what's the deal? Okay. I'm just going to highlight this and we'll go back. Gig economy uses digital platforms to connect freelancers with customers to provide short-term service and asset sharing. Examples include ride-hailing apps, food delivery apps, and holiday rental apps. It's a growing segment bringing economic benefits of productivity and employment, but it also raises questions about levels of consumer and worker protection. The challenge is to balance innovation with a fair deal for workers. Okay, and that was on.
And who determines this fair deal?
The WEF right here.
Yeah.
WEF, y'all. WEF. I'm WF. I'm WTF. WTF and the WEF, y'all.
Right.
What? Okay, just so y'all know, I didn't think we talked about it because this headline is just like, oh, WTF. It's at unlimitedhangout.com. Okay, so was there another one you wanted me to highlight?
I mean, any of it. I think all of it's information that we all need to be aware of because they're not even hiding it anymore.
Nope.
This used to be a theory.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what kind of theory, but it used to be considered a theory.
Right, right.
Not so much.
Mm-mm.
You'll own nothing and be happy.
That's at thenewamerican.com. Put on, that was in December of
that picture.
Yeah, Alan Newman wrote it. This is from 1310. In the not too distant future, you will own absolutely nothing, but you will like it and be happy, according to the totalitarians and deep state globalists pushing what they call the Great Reset. You will also have no privacy, they say, and yet somehow the advocates of this feudalistic vision, the WEF and the UN, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, and more have decreed that you'll be happy. Even leftists are freaking out.
You know, I think these people are so concreted into their own little world that they don't even have a clue of how we actually live. I don't think that they've never probably had to drive their own cars. They probably never had to get their own groceries. They certainly probably never had to work a day in their life because it's old family money. And their privileges don't give them a flipping clue as to how we actually live or what makes us happy.
Right. Like, can we come back down to planet Earth, please?
Right. Because,
we come down to Earth. So what does that highlight? Peddling the disgusting notion that you must eat bugs, weeds, and seaweed instead of normal food, all to save the climate from the gas of life, CO2 emissions. It's big corporations and manufacturing plants that are killing the earth. So I'm going to say.
But they'll be eating whatever they want. It's rules for thee and not for me. Just like you're seeing a lot of now.
Yes, let them have cake. Who was it that said that?
I don't remember, but I remember the phrase.
It was one of those queens.
Marie Antoinette.
Marie Antoinette, yeah. All right, so I'm going to play the second one now. Wasn't it good? Me and her, I'm trying to get her to do stuff with me, but she's got grandbabies now, so she ain't got time for my stuff. But we had fun. Okay, can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Yes, let them have cake. Who was it that said that?
I don't remember, but I remember the phrase.
It was one of those queens.
Yeah.
It wasn't off with her head because I'm sure that was all the queens. But anyway. Okay, let's go back. Let's get in. I'm not gonna play this. I don't want to
Mm.
hear this. Okay, I just want everybody to know it's there. Okay, in her New Age guru, Barbara Marx Hubbard. Who is this woman again? Who is she? Okay, and her endorsement of the Heart Math Institute Global Coherence Initiative, which is propagating transhumanist neurofeedback wearables across the planet in order to digitally synchronize humans' collective heart rhythms and brainwaves into electronically induced states of
spiritual bliss.
You're going to have to finish this. I can't do this right now.
Oh, my dear Lord. I don't even know if I can. With Hubbard's transhumanism blessing, Heart Math Global Neurotech Network is primed to lull plebs and proles into happy compliance with the new normal of the fourth industrial revolution's techno-feudal stakeholder economy.
Stakeholder.
My eyes. I should have glasses on.
The they them.
Oh my God.
Revolution. That's the fourth World War, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I've heard a lot of talk about how the World War isn't necessarily going to be an actual war. It's going to be a technological war.
Yes. Yes.
And that it's kind of already happened.
Yes. It is happening. It is going on. Oh my God. Y'all bear with me.
It's a lot to unpack. It is a lot to process. It is a lot to even think that any other human could have the audacity or the wish to do this to other human beings. It just blows your freaking mind.
This is not coming from a human soul.
No.
It cannot be. And
you wouldn't think it would.
Y'all, everybody listening, watching, we have not read these articles. I just read the headlines. I was like, Deb, let's do this. We had no idea what it said. So you're getting the real, raw, genuine first reaction to this.
Yes, people. Yeah, we haven't had a chance to process it or digest it and I mean, we've all heard bits and pieces of this information, but not everything that they're unpacking in just this.
Right. With little clicky links that we can click and read. Okay.
So I wonder what a stakeholder is.
Okay, let's go look.
Because I'm just curious, is that us?
Stakeholder capitalism on the wow. See, or not the wow, sorry. It's the WEF to my WTF. Okay. Stakeholder capitalism is a form of capitalism in which companies seek long-term value creation by taking into account the needs of all their stakeholders and society at large. Okay. Klaus Schwab discusses.
So companies are going to be in charge?
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I've heard of this Klaus Schwab before.
So he discusses its history and relevance in this expert from the book Stakeholder Capitalism, a global economy that works for progress, people, and planet. Okay, I'm sorry, but ain't no little, what was it? Let's see. Synthetic spiritual bliss.
Yeah.
I've had enough of synthetic. I'm done.
Yep. If they like it so much, let them do it.
In this first installment of my series of Hubbard's legacy, contributions to the post-humanist religion and techno-fascist economy of the neo-eugenic fourth industrial revolution, I will historicalize how Rockefeller Philanthropies bankrolled Hubbard's Foundation for Conscious Evolution in order to digitally engineer mankind into a new transhuman species baptized in the name of Gnostic Christ consciousness.
I am not a fan.
Do I sound like a fan? I'm not a fan.
No, I don't think we're fans.
We are not. We are not fans. Did you catch the new name? What do you think about the new name?
What name?
It was Technostic. Let's go back.
Oh, like Technosis?
Technosis, yes. In order to digitally engineer mankind into a new transhuman species baptized in the name of Gnostic Christ consciousness. Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Gnostic Christ consciousness. Gnostic, that's where we're going, guys. In the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Do I sound like a fan? I'm not a fan.
No, I don't think we're fans.
We are not. We are not fans. Furthermore, I will expose how Hubbard collaborated with globalists at the World Business Academy, corporatists at Singularity University, and you physician. Is that you physician? Human potential.
I was trying to figure that word out.
We're just going to say you physician, human potential psychologist in connection with the Elslin Institute in order to establish techno communitarian spiritualism that worship
Where is this?
evolution. You want me to pause it, right?
Yeah. Where was what she? Where's what's being read currently?
Let's see.
Oh, here I found it.
No, right here.
Yeah, Eusychian. I think it means like good mind.
Okay. Yeah. See, that looks like a new word, but it could be a Greek word too.
They're just taking two Greek roots and mashing it. I don't think it's.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Controlled by big tech companies, which dominate the stakeholder economy. Okay, we just figured out what that was, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Of the fourth industrial revolution. Finally, I will document how Hubbard's advance the globalization of HeartMath Institute's transhumanist biofeedback wearable can neurotechnologically mesmerize the precreate into virtual states of happy subservience to the new normal.
I wonder if the patent of that wearable has 666 in it.
Okay, I've read enough. I cannot go on any further.
It's disgusting.
I can't do this. I will at some point, but I am so connected to my creator and my source that even though I knew this was happening, to read it out loud is something totally different. So it's something I'm going to have to come back and look at.
And that's because while you're reading it, it really makes you look at it, especially when you're reading it out loud.
Exactly. So, and that's why I wanted to do it without reading it beforehand. I wanted to do it on the show. So I want to see who this woman is. Let's go to Wikipedia. Look at Wiki. So she was born a Capricorn in 1929. She died.
Yeah.
Oh, she's dead. Her legacy.
I'm so glad that she did this before she left us, though.
I know. I mean, her legacy must live on. The American futurist, author, and public speaker, she is credited with the concept of the synergy engine and the birthing of humanity. Oh, my eyes are rolling so far back in my head right now.
Yeah.
So far back. Okay. So I want to know who she is. We don't have a hit on her mom. We do on her father. He was an American toy maker and businessman whose company, Lewis Mark and Company, was the largest toy company in the world in the 1950s.
She was one of these people who had no clue how we live.
Exactly.
Oh, certainly.
He was described by some as an experienced businessman with the mind of a child. Oh. So they just want to make us all their little toy soldiers.
Exactly.
What'd you say?
The mind of a child. He was a puer eternus because that's not meant to be that he had the literal mental age of a child. It means that he was childlike.
He was constantly playing and was probably really into kids. Step by step, heart to heart, left, right, left. We all fall down. I'm like toy song. I can't help it. Sorry, y'all. Girl, we're Generation X. I know you remember that song.
I'll be right back after you start.
Absolutely.
I know, right?
I mean, they just want us to be robots from the sounds of it.
I
They
know.
want us to do what they want us
I
to
know.
do. They want us to have the
I
same
know
thoughts.
it.
God forbid we have our own thought.
I know, right?
Hmm.
So, yeah, I was doing a stop share. I'm just not going into that anymore right now because they get no more of my energy right now.
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to digest that. We're going to take a step back, as everyone should do. When you take in so much information, you have got to step back, go into nature, reconnect with nature, you know, talk to your family, hug your family, love your family, and then regroup and be like, is this the way we want to really live as humans?
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
No. And I don't think anyone wants that.
I don't think we signed up for that.
No. And I don't think that anybody should have the authority or the right to do that to us.
Exactly. So information is key.
Yes.
And going forward, how can we live better and do better? Exactly.
And as one of our friends says, you know, love is going to be a high key to all of this.
Love is the highest vibration. And if we know that only 5 hertz is what takes to get that alternating situation,
that's nothing.
I know. So all we have to do is sit here and go, ooh, whatever makes us feel good. If it feels good to us, gets us the warm fuzzies going, we need to do that. But it needs to come from us. Because God is not outside of us if God is not within us. And we have to hold on to that, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to let you guys. All right. So I hope you all enjoyed that part.
All right. So I found the video. So, just for context, this song is something that kids learn at Waldorf schools, which is based off of Rudolf Steiner's teachings. He wasn't as bad as the Theosophists, but like he still comes from that vein. And you can see kind of the idea of like trying to have an influence on kids. And like this is relatively benign, but it still is kind of eerie.
Yeah.
This morning I'm going to share a little song that is a way to bring a bit of beauty, a bit of artistry, a bit of reverence to perhaps bedtime or breakfast, lunch, or dinner when we're at the table with our families, or maybe even just with yourself. And it's, well, it helps you light the candle, and we're honoring the elements of fire in an imaginative sort of way. We don't talk about this with the children. We just do it. Fire fairies, come to us, bring to us your golden light. And the fire fairies come, bringing golden light from the sun. And so the 3 R's of early childhood from Steiner's perspective were rhythm, repetition, and reverence. So we can do this again and again to create this habit of beauty and habit of reverence at these little points in the day, or maybe just at Sunday night dinner. And so,
is that the worship
if we've
Jean
invited
that she's
fire
talking about?
fairies in this sweet way, we can also
I don't think
say goodbye to them
but it's
in this sweet way. And it's a great way to end a meal or end a party. You go like this. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your light. thank you for your light.
I have so much commentary.
Yeah.
I have so much commentary. Well, for one, she is siphoning children's energy. She's using their energy. She's looshing off of them. I call it loosh anyway. And it's indoctrinating too, right? So what were the three things that Steiner said? Reverence.
Rhythm, repetition, and reverence.
Right. So rhythm allows the repetition to stick. Repetition is indoctrination and brainwashing. It is memorization. It is, I mean, the whole time I was with Melanie, as she was like, quote unquote, trying to, train me to be an accredited journalist. What happened was she was using repetition all the time. And then it wasn't until other people were like, why does she keep talking about the same things over and over and over again? I'm like, I don't know. I had to go into psychology. You really, really need to, research psychology. If you're going to understand everything else that's going on in the world, you really need to dig into some psychology and how our brains work and how easily our brains are programmable, because we are organic computers. I mean, we are like, I know that by studying the brain is how they manage to make computers and these machines, and then it just exploded from there into what we have now, with the help, of course, with psychedelics, no doubt, I'm sure, and other drugs. So she's looshing off children, kind of like Monsters Inc., only in a happy way, because you get more energy. You catch more flies with honey instead of vinegar. And then I forgot what my other one. I think it was Rudolf Steiner. However, the thing with Steiner, what Steiner said, not everything Steiner said was bad though. That's what's so messed up about all of this indoctrination and spirituality, is it's not all bad. You know? It's just you have to be able to maintain control over your own mind and your own thoughts.
Well, and
right?
going on that thought, there's not, like, if someone else can program your mind, then that means you can as well, intentionally.
Absolutely. I have talked myself into and out of a lot of amazing and insane things. Once we realize that we can talk ourselves into and out of literally everything, into, a whole better life, but they don't tell us that we have to program our own brain like a fucking computer.
Also, I was going to say, when I was taking the dab, I was going to say, weed fairies, come to me.
We should make a song. We should make a song. Yeah, because I'm starting a new channel and it's going to be about cannabis. So definitely that would be cute to have weed fairies.
So
And
let's
mushroom fairies. Yeah.
let's get a bit more of this. So
all right, but it's 15 till. I'd like to wrap it up around 9. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Prominent individuals who publicly lauded the New World Order, described by Bailey, include world-class figures, some of whom have since passed away. Willy Brandt, German ex-chancellor, Professor J. Tinbergen, Nobel Prize winner, George Bush, ex-U.S. president, Robert Kennedy, veteran U.S. senator, former attorney general, Margaret Mead, anthropologist. Oh, interesting. She's a really good anthropologist. Carl Rogers, Eric Fromm, Carl Rogers, psychotherapist, Eric Fromm, psychologist, Barbara Marx Hubbard, founder of Planetary Initiative and pivotal UN figure, Aurelio Peccei, founder of the Club of Rome, Isaac Asimov, scientist and sci-fi writer, Alvin Toffler, author of Future Shock, George Christie, founder of Intelsat Consortium of 106 countries, pop singers John Denver and Judy Collins, historians William Irvin Thompson and Theodore Roszak, actress Shirley MacLaine, psychic Edgar Casey. Actually, the list is getting so long it would be easier to list those who actively oppose New Age goals. Aggressive promotion of the New Age agenda, besides through the above organizations, is going on through the following more general groups and activities: Montessori, Greenpeace, Sierra Club, Zero Population Growth, Planned Parenthood, Hunger Project, Voluntary Simplicity, Bread for the World, most disarmament groups, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Club of Rome, Skull and Bones, Yale Fraternity, the International Legal Commission, UN Consultant, UNESCO Key UN Agency, World Council of Churches, Ecumenical Christian, Unitarian Churches, Baha'i and Sufi sects, Muslim, The Door, New York's Center Medical Facility, many interfaith dialogue projects, most health food stores, and the entertainment industry. Okay, it sounds like she has a lot of bones to pick, personally. I feel like this might be a bit overgeneralized, but who knows? I might be wrong. Note, many well-meaning people... Wait, what? Oh, okay. Exploiting naive idea. Okay, where were we? Oh, shoot. It took me all the way back. Okay, is this the... dang it, where did it go? Oh, it was from the same page. That's why I got confused. I think. Oh, this is ridiculous. Okay, we're on...
I know. It's like it's not been updated since 2006. I wish we could get her some help.
Let's... Oh, here. I can... wait, next segment. Can I go to previous? Let's see. Okay, here. This should work. Okay, perfect. Prominent individuals. Okay, we're here. Many well-meaning people participate in these simply from a desire to further international understanding or make the world a better place. For the innocent souls who have not learned what planetary initiation and global cleansing action means to New Agers, a rude awakening is coming, especially if they are Jewish. 5. According to Ferguson, governmental groups, U.S., which have embraced New Age include the Department of Defense, invited Ferguson as keynote speaker at their annual dinner in 1982, shortly after her book circulated, the National Institute on Mental Health, the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, industrial giants, which require their managers to attend New Age seminars, General Motors, AT&T, Chrysler Corporation, several oil companies, Lockheed Martin, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Ferguson's list is 20 plus years old at this point. We can assume the New Age influence to be significantly wider by now. New Age teaching has entered the school systems through the World Core Curriculum, written by Robert Mueller, promoted by the UN, and acknowledged to be based on the teachings set forth in the books by Alice A. Bailey, by the Tibetan teacher Jewel Kool, WCC Manual Preface. How can something this big function? Described by Ferguson, Aquarian Conspiracy, as the opposite of a bureaucracy, its organizational chart would resemble a badly knotted fishnet. Its center is everywhere. Its life does not hinge on any one group or leader. The networks take the same action, she said, not because they collude together, but because they share the same assumptions. The shared assumptions are the collusion. In other words, they are evidence of design, but not human design. The New Age spokesmen have no anxiety about their movement being sabotaged from within due to their deliberate structure of the badly knotted fishnet. Each network is independent of the others, and no one organization or leader is indispensable. Therefore, anyone causing a PR disaster or deciding to fight the plan can be eliminated without damaging the network. With others taking over the function, the Jim Jones Guyana fiasco was a good example. The Spiritual Community Guide of 1972 listed his People's Temple as a New Age spiritual center. Wow! After the mass suicide, New Age magazine branded him a dangerous example of Christian fundamentalism, and he was quietly removed from the guide. The switch is documented by Cumby in Hidden Dangers of the Rainbow.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. No. We need to wrap it up and end it on that. That is huge. Yeah, I want you to. Can you bring us more info the next time we go live?
Yeah, but I mean, shouldn't we finish it off at like 2 hours?
Yeah, I want to talk. I was wanting to talk about that. I was wanting to elaborate on that right? So that was okay. So the Jim's okay. So it's saying Jim Jones. This was behind Jim Jones, right?
I was just going to say, because like we're almost at the end of this
Oh,
part.
okay.
So
Okay, go ahead.
although it is claimed that the New Age has no central core structure, there are numerous organizational charts, a world center, Find Foreign Community in Scotland, and several holy sites where masters can be found, including Jerusalem, which helps explain world pressure to delegitimize the city as Israel's capital and the seat of Judaism. New Age has its priesthood too. Certain spokesmen whose words are received as law. They include Helena Blavatsky, Alice Bailey, Benjamin Graham, David Spangler, Marilyn Ferguson, Mark Satin, more like Mark Satan, Peter Lemessurier, Maharishi Yogi, George Gurdjieff, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, H.G. Wells, Nicholas Roerich, Buckminster Fuller, George Trevelyan. One of the most popular and influential priests today is Robert Mueller, who I consider to be Alice Bailey's director. Keep an eye on him if you want to track new developments in global level New Age. Certain popular spirit guides being channeled today are taken so seriously that they are hosted at the United Nations through an unpublicized group called SEAT, the Society for Enlightenment and Transformation. These spirits include Cryon, Lord Maitreya, and the group. This tab didn't even take me anywhere. So I don't know. New Age Bibles, books studied and meticulously applied, are where one can find detailed New Age goals and instructions. Some of these are Reappearance of the Christ and the Masters of Wisdom, Benjamin Crumb and Alice Bailey, The Secret Doctrine, Blavatsky, Aryan Race Theory. What's this? Oh, it is somewhere else. Aryan Race Theory, Revelation, The Birth of a New Age, Spangler, describing the Luciferic initiation as a New Age requirement. That'll be interesting to compare to some of Hillman's stuff. The Open Conspiracy, Blueprints for a World Revolution, Wells, calls for destructive criticism of personal immortality religions, The Critical Path, Fuller, plans for undermining monotheistic religions by use of computers. Sounds like Alman with YouTube. The Armageddon Script, Le Mesurier, plans to stage a second coming of Christ to satisfy Christian expectations. The New Use of Computers, the Armageddon Spirit, Le Mesurier. The New Genesis, Shaping a Global Spirituality, Mueller, calls for the New Age to begin in 2000. Other more ancient books which are studied include the Aquarian Gospel, a Gnostic work, and the Urantia series. That's another one we need to touch on in another video.
Hey, I have that book. It weighs about 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Not lying.
And you know that the founder of Celestial Seasonings, the tea brand, is was deep into it.
Oh, really? I've flipped through it. I just wanted to keep it for posterity reasons because this is a cult.
Yeah, that's a good call. Because probably if they had their way, they'd have all theirs in their possession or destroyed.
It's a total respin of Jesus.
Yeah. So all of Alice Bailey's works are studied, including Externalization of the Hierarchy, The Rays and the Initiations, Education in the New Age, and the Problems of Humanity. These give information about the plan for the New World Order, the problem of the Jews, notice this, the Jewish problem, and the evils of their God. Regardless of claims that it sounds just like Alma, seriously. Regardless of claims that the movement has no basic required doctrine, there is no group calling itself New Age that does not revere the plan and the Great Invocation, the New Age prayer for the plan's success, both transmitted by Bailey from her spirit guide, an entity called Jual-Kul, often shortened these days to DK, while the invocation is marketed as a generic prayer adaptable to all religions and deities. Its careful wording has been handed down from Alice Bailey's spirit guide and explained to higher level initiates as an invitation to the hierarchy of ascended masters to anchor the plan on earth and to return the ruler of humanity, Lucifer, to his rightful places at the head of an adoring world. The following parts in the series describe in more detail the doctrine supported by New Age leaders in key positions today. Its tenets traced back to the writings of Alice Bailey and or Helena Blavatsky. This concludes segment A.
Okay, listen. This is so crazy to me. I cannot do this. Do you hear what this whole massive world clusterfuck was built on? A fucking download, y'all. a download. I can't do it. Listen, the download was meant for her and her alone. She should have kept that shit to herself.
Or
This is
she
what this is how shit gets started. You know?
Yeah.
Same thing with Crowley. You know, he did his thing and he got the alien looking dude.
Yeah, lamb.
Lamb, whatever the fuck. I was just like, man, we really need to put a lot of things in perspective. Now we get Annie Besant in here too. You're gonna be, you'll be able to fit a little bit more and a little bit more. And I bet this right here is the reason why um Michael Tsarian thinks that there is a female Illuminati. And of course, my ears perked up, right? Because I hadn't heard that before. I hadn't heard female Illuminati. My ears perked up, and I'm like, what's this? What's this? And then, I think about what Giorgiani says about the dark mother and all this dark mother coming, dark mother coming, into our consciousness. And it just all kind of plays out. I posted some movies in the Discord about it too. Sesarita or something like that. Good. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us and the ones that come and gone too. Thank you for hanging out. Ariel side, thank you for hanging out with us. Sean and Angie, thank you for hanging out. Yam Ship of Curses. Paula D, hello, sweetie pie. Let's see who else. I holler at Angie. And you had some people, Shahu Makulu,
Yes.
Blaze Green, and
Yeah.
Blazing.
They're all the same person.
Are they all the same person? Well, okay. Well, they were having issues because they said that try to talk about something and they just disappear. So
Yeah.
all right. As for protection when exploring other realms, thanks, Jevim and Eric. Yeah. Well, you really need that's the whole set and setting, and people don't really get it. They don't get it. You need to really research set and setting and someone that you trust. Don't go to no friggin' guru. Do your research before you do anything. And I am not saying go do anything, but if you do anything, do your research, please, and be safe. And we'll see you next time. I don't know when we're going to do it, but we're just, Aria, we're both very busy. He's full-time college student. I'm a full-time what the fuck. So I'll see you all later.
Take care.